Have you ever been in a relationship where, kindness felt a little weird, uncomfortable even? Or maybe you find yourself always chasing after people who are distant, kind of unavailable? Well, if any of that sounds familiar, this one is for you. We're going to take a look at this really difficult pattern in love, figure out where it comes from, and most importantly, find a new, braver way forward. Okay, let's get into it. It's such a big and honestly a painful question, right? Someone offers you the exact thing you've always wanted: care, attention, real affection, and instead of leaning in, you just flinch, you pull back. So why on earth does that happen? Well, to get to the answer, we have to look back for a minute. So the first step on this journey is really about understanding the root of the problem. Because a lot of the time, the trouble we have with love today, it's just an echo of a past that we might not even fully remember, but that we're still feeling. And here's the thing that's so important to get. You don't need to have perfect, detailed memories of your childhood to know if it was tough. Actually, the clearest sign, the real clue, is just how you feel about yourself right now. A difficult start almost always leaves behind this deep, lingering feeling of self-hatred. Do any of these hit home for you? Thinking you're ugly, not being able to stand looking in the mirror, being a chronic people pleaser because you're terrified of upsetting anyone, or maybe you just walk around with this suspicion that everyone secretly hates you. It can even be this vague, nagging feeling that you're just unacceptable or weird or somehow not right. These aren't just personality quirks, They're often the painful symptoms of that inner critic that gets built in our early years. And if you dig down behind these feelings, you usually find the same old villains. A supercritical parent you could never please, maybe an environment that was unpredictable or even violent. Or maybe you had to watch a brother or sister get all the love and affection. The causes are sadly common, but the real damage, the part that truly messes with us as adults, almost always shows up when it comes to love. And this is where that inner feeling of being unlovable really starts to cause chaos in the real world. It creates this awful dilemma in our relationships. We get stuck between two choices that seem totally different, but are actually just two dead ends on the same road. Okay, so check this out. On one side, you've got the unavailable partner. This is the person who's distant, maybe a little cruel. They basically confirm that deep down belief that you're not worthy of love. And it feels familiar, right? Painful, but familiar. But then on the other side, you meet the kind partner. They think you're sweet and clever and amazing, and their affection feels so foreign, so undeserved, that it literally makes you feel sick to your stomach. So what do? You start picking them apart. You criticize their shoes, their laugh, some dumb joke they told, because your brain is thinking, how could anyone who actually likes me be anything other than a total loser? And so to get away from that squirmy, uncomfortable feeling, you push them away. And you know exactly which buttons to press. You go a little cold, you flirt with a stranger at a party, you find a way to detonate the trust. You break the very thing you want because their kindness feels like a language you never learned how to speak. So, what happens when you're stuck between these two impossible options? Constantly bouncing between people who confirm your worst fears and people whose kindness you just can't stomach. What's left in the space between? Yeah, it's this. Devastating loneliness. That quiet, awful intermission between one broken relationship and the next. Just this profound feeling of being completely alone, trapped in a loop you can't figure out how to break. But listen, here's something really important to hold on to. You are not the only person who has ever felt this way. This is not some weird new problem that you invented. This exact same struggle has played out for centuries in every culture you can imagine, from Renaissance Florence to Ming Dynasty Beijing. The only thing that's different now is that we're finally starting to have the words to talk about it and to change it. Which, of course, brings us to the most important question of all. Is there a way out? Is it actually possible to break this painful cycle and learn how to accept the love we've always wanted? And the answer is yes, absolutely. But the solution isn't about finding a different type of person. It's about finding a different way of being. It's a third, braver path. And it's all about choosing vulnerability over those old, familiar patterns of self-sabotage. So here's what that path looks like. Step 1, you have to actually understand your own pattern, all the stuff we've just been talking about. Step 2, you find someone who is genuinely kind and also perceptive. And step 3, and this one is the big, brave leap, you share what's going on. You tell them about your illness. Now, let's be really clear what we mean by illness here. This is not a character flaw, it's not who you are, it's a condition. Think of it like a food allergy, but for kindness. Your past has made it incredibly difficult for your system to digest love, so it causes this automatic reaction where you turn against it and against the person who's giving it to you. Just giving it a name can be the first step toward healing.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? How in the world do you have that conversation? Well, instead of putting on a brave face and pretending you're totally fine, you tell them the truth. Let's just walk through what that might actually sound like. You could start with something incredibly honest, like this: I want so much to be normal, but I have an illness. And then you explain it. Simply, my past means I can't accept love. I have this reflex where I turn against it and the person giving it to me. See, that's not an excuse. It's an explanation. And then you make a request. Please help me to bear the anxiety of being cared for. That is so powerful. You're not asking them to fix you. You're asking for their help as you learn. Please help me to absorb the love I crave. Please forgive me for being ill. Now, look, the point of this conversation isn't some magical overnight cure. The real goal is to find out if this person, if they can look past the weird behavior, past all the shame, and see the decent, good person underneath who is really, really trying to heal. If they can hear you, if they can understand even a little bit, that's huge progress. You've just found a partner for your healing journey. So we'll leave you with this last thought to chew on. For so long, your greatest fear has probably been about someone seeing the real you, that part you think is weird or broken or unacceptable. But what if that exact thing, letting someone truly see your struggle, your shame, and your deep desire to change, what if that isn't the thing you should be afraid of?